90 plus days on retention makes you godlike to not only yourself really, but to other people as well. And the reason is because there's a lot of transformations that are going to occur between the first 90 days that you are on retention. Now, if you are nowhere near 90 days right now, then don't beat yourself up. It's not really anything to beat yourself up over, because it's going to happen when it happens. And, I want to make sure that people also understand that this is not okay, at day 20, this is what's going to happen. At day 50, this is what's going to happen. At day 90, this is exactly what's going to happen. It's not how it works exactly. It depends on the person. And these are more like rough estimates on as far as the timeline goes, because it's going to depend on and vary from person to person on how things happen and how things work. But the most important factor is to simply make this semen retention a lifestyle. I don't think that counting days really needs to be anything that you're actually too focused on. I understand how some people will get obsessed with the amount of days that they've been on semen retention for and whatnot, but I don't really think that that's necessary for you to get the true benefits of this practice. Now, with that being said, I do want to welcome you to another Semen Retention Sunday episode here on the Regal Change channel and account, because we want to make sure that we are encouraging people to live lives that are helping them grow closer to God and building relationships that are everlasting, biblical, healthy, and making sure that their physical, emotional, and spiritual well-being is at the upfront most priority in their life. Now, the transformations that are going to occur between the first 2 weeks to 90 days are going to be very, very drastic. And you might notice a lot of different things that happen as far as the benefits are concerned. Now, when I say the term benefits, I use that term loosely because they're not really benefits. It's just you being who you are if you were to live out your full potential. Because many people don't know how to live out their full potential. And it's not really because of what they're doing all the time. It's more because society has told them that, well, you have to masturbate at least once or twice a week or whatever, like to just keep the sperm flowing and all of that. And it's like, that's not how it actually works. And, I'm approaching the 3-year mark in just a few weeks here of this practice, and the difference is night and day. I mean, if you go back and look at my videos from even just 2 years ago, which is when I pretty much started this YouTube channel as well as other social media platforms and such, but I was only very much more serious on YouTube, you'll see the difference. Like you'll see the difference. It's pretty astounding, because even just a year ago, I can see the difference. And it's like the growth compounds on itself. And people will notice this. People will see that you're growing in a way that nobody else does. And they don't understand how. And some people will stare out of jealousy and hatred, and others will stare out of just pure admiration. Do you know how often it happens to me now when women look at me in the eyes and their jaws literally drop? Like there's this look of nervousness as well as attraction, as well as awe-inspiring, as well as a sense of reverence and just kind of terror as well. Because it's like they see your spirit. And I've had women tell me that they see my spirit. And that's a very strange comment to have from women in your community, because you're like, wow. And these people are not even the most spiritual, but they can still sense something very much more different about you. Some people just might look at you and they'll just see your aura. You know, that seems to be like a very big slang term nowadays. Oh, he's got so much aura, or she's got so much aura. And what that really means, I assume, because it's a slang term and it's more of a cultural term and turning into a cultural phenomenon, kind of like the term Riz. It's more like the power that this person has, the kind of energy this person holds. And your aura is going to be on another level once you reach 90 days. So you have to think about, okay, well, then what happens between day 1 and day 90 and day 14 and 2 weeks to day 90? Well, your sperm is going to go through a process of recycling, as well as rehealing the body. You know, you might have stored trauma, for example, that is only presenting itself on this practice. And I've had people tell me that they've had like body aches from not being able to sleep because they have so much energy. And that is another side effect, is you might not be able to sleep because you're on this practice. But what that really is just you're not used to the amount of energy that you have. You're not used to, like, your body is recalibrating. Like, imagine having the engine of a Lamborghini, but inside, like, I don't know, a Ford, like, I don't know. I don't know cars too well, but let's just say a Honda, because I have a Honda. Let's say you have an engine of a Lamborghini in like a Honda Accord, and this whole time you've had the capacity to be like a Lamborghini, but instead on the outside you look like a freaking Honda. And there's nothing wrong with Hondas, right? I love Hondas, but compared to a Lamborghini, you get my point here. Hopefully this metaphor is hitting the way that I want it to, but if you have the engine of a Lamborghini inside the Honda, but nobody knows, and the Honda is not going to be able to sustain that kind of engine because it's just too powerful, well, what happens to the Honda? It would probably destroy itself, right? Well, that's what happens when you're a depleted Coomer, is you have the capacity for a great engine inside of your car, so to speak. You've got your vehicle of consciousness, but because you are not actually having the other possibilities and structures that are going to resolve itself, then that's why you're not going to be where you actually could be in this life. So when you're on semen retention, and let's say you have a Lamborghini engine, it's like the car parts that are your body are going to naturally repair itself. And it's going to take some time. You know, you got to take that car apart, so to speak. Your skin's going to get a little better. Your hair might be a little bit better. I know my beard, I don't put any beard oil in my beard or anything like that. People have asked me in the past what kind of products I put in my beard, and I say I don't put anything in my beard. Sometimes, you know, I'll wash my beard, but I don't even use beard wash. I used to use beard wash and beard oil, but now I just use regular soap and whatever. And you know what? Looks fine to me. Like a lot of the marketing for like beard products now, I think, is a lot of BS, because it's just another way to get marketing stuff. It's another way that it's a scam. But you know, that's the thing here, is how society wants us to think that there are certain things that we have to do in order for them to just, you know, get more money. It's a lot of it is not actually improving people's lives, and they just know how to market it because people think that it's going to be a certain way. And sure, there are probably products out there for beards and such that are going to be more useful than others, but with semen retention, it's like it doesn't even matter. That kind of stuff doesn't even matter. What matters is just that you take the proper care, nutrition for your body, and you're eating well, you're working out, you're exercising, and you're not doing crazy things with the kinds of substances that you're ingesting. I don't drink alcohol, I don't smoke, and I used to smoke marijuana quite a bit, and I used to drink every now and again, but I never really liked drinking. Never really liked it. And I would always just do it just to try to feel something, but I haven't even smoked a cigar or anything. And the last time that I smoked anything was in July of 2022 in Oregon, when I was, you guys probably know what's in Oregon if anybody's in the United States watching this. But yeah, that was the last time I was ever smoking anything. And the last time I drank was over a year ago, and I had a glass of wine, but I just don't even need that kind of stuff anymore. And this is what you transform with down the line on your semen retention journey, is that certain things that appealed to you in your past, like substances and sexual activities and all that, they just don't really hold the weight that they once did. They don't have a hold on you because you're breaking generational curses, you're breaking bonds and fleshly desires. You're just letting go of a lot of that kind of stuff. And there's true power in that. And it does make you godlike. And the people are gonna see it. The people are gonna understand that there's something different about you, but they don't always know how or why. And sometimes, as I said, they'll get a little jealous, and they might get a little irritated. But it's actually a sign that you're progressing, and it's actually a sign that you're doing something that many people just aren't prepared to do. A lot of people are not prepared to take this journey. And again, I don't think you should count the days too much. It's kind of an ego trap, and it's kind of an ego trip if you get counting the days. I know somebody that I was working with a while back, and this person was on cloud 9 after getting to a certain day that he's never gone before in semen retention, and he celebrated by fapping. He celebrated by playing with his wingly dink. And he couldn't go back to it. Like he had a really hard time going back to semen retention. And that was rough to watch. It was rough to watch because when you reward yourself with the thing that you're trying to get rid of, there's a difference between putting leisure and pleasure behind a paywall, so to speak. Like, for example, let's say you've been eating well on your diet for 6 days out of the week or whatever, and you have a cheat meal on that 7th day. I don't even like calling it a cheat meal, but it's like, because sometimes you just need the calories, especially if you're working out and doing a lot and going to town. Like, you need those calories. But if you reward yourself with nutrition and being nutritious and disciplined with being undisciplined, there's going to be something that rewires yourself in your mind, and you might not even understand it, because it's going to inhibit you from really learning from what you're actually doing. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't, you shouldn't be having a piece of cake every now and again, I guess, right? Like, if you want to have a piece of cake, have a piece of cake. But sometimes you need to do those things to realize that it's not for you. Like for semen retention, for example, a lot of people need to just go to town on watching corn and playing with themselves for long enough before they realize that it's just not working. You know, and people have asked me, well, how do I know I'm going to get the benefits? It's like, well, I guess you don't. I guess you don't know if you're going to get the benefits or not. You're going to have to try it. This is a experience by experience basis, okay? And again, I don't like using the term benefit either, because the word benefit means that it's adding to your life, and semen retention does add to your life, but not in the way that you think. It's fulfilling you. You're just a depleted coomer beforehand, like I was a depleted coomer. You're just a depleted coomer who is now realizing their full potential, and you're no longer a depleted coomer anymore. You're going to become godlike. And many people in our society don't want this to happen for young men, or any kind of men out there actually. But you're going to have to just burn through whatever you need to burn through as far as desires before you get to this point. Now, I'm not encouraging you to go out there and to sin your life away, but I'm not really telling you that you should repress your desires either. Okay, just don't act on them. You don't need to act on them. You can accept a desire without having to act on it. And this is what a lot of people don't know how to do. Well, so how do you do that? Well, once you go through this transformation process through the 90 days, let's say, for example, you'll start to see how your life is more like a series of games in which you learn how to strategize better in certain ways and in other ways not. But the whole goal would be to recognize that you're enough already. You're enough without these vices. You're enough without these things, because you're trying to change who you are, right? Like if you're stuck in lust, for example, you like the feeling of lust. You like the feeling inside of you that's being enhanced or outlined in your mental framework because you enjoy the high that it gives you. I was on a call the other day and I told this person, I said, yeah, toxic women are the most fun. And he kind of laughed, and I said, well, yeah, it's true though. They are the most fun, but they're the most problematic as well. And you can get high off of being around these kinds of women. But in my experience, every time I'm high, quote unquote, feeling of high around a woman, it's usually a sign of toxicity. It's usually a sign that she's trying to love bomb me or something, or she's trying to mirror me. And if she's not, like if it's more like chill, more peaceful, it's not as exciting. But man, the woman is definitely more, how do I say this? She's more nourishing for your soul in the long run. But anyways, guys, I think I got everything that I needed to talk about in this video talked about. I hope this video was useful and insightful for you and edifying in some way, shape, or form. Stay blessed out there, everybody, and peace be with you. Until next time.